All right. So since you're here, Mark, you want to say a couple words before I jump in?
Well, this is about list reports and RPR, yes?
Yes, it is.
Or do you want me to say something about something else?
Whatever you would like. Usually you have something that you want to chime in with.
Well, I didn't, but I can. Um, this team is very uniquely set up to gain energy from the others that are on it. It is unlike any other team in Red One. So it's important that we utilize these things. I mean, the leadership, Sheila and others, have set up every Tuesday that's enjoined with the second and fourth Thursdays and a Saturday and then 30-minute one-on-one Zooms. This is an especially important time to be ingrained with other people with similar drive. I say that because we're in an election year. This is not about politics, but in an election year, guys, and I've dealt with this for years and years and years, you have an opportunity, if things are going really well, to capture that piece of your sphere. If things are a little bit different, to engage with those folks in your sphere, to springboard yourself beyond November. So keep that in mind, and I'll just finish with this. And you've heard it a lot, and you're going to be hearing it a lot more. We can control that which we do. We cannot control the underlying methodologies that drive our market. We don't control interest rates or number of houses on the market. We don't control, sorry, it sounds maudlin, but death, divorce, shrinking family, growing family, transfers out of state. But what we do control is our ability to put ourselves in front of them. And Sheila's list reports and RPR presentation is critically important during this time. So I will say that, and then I'll try to shut up and wait and see what happens.
All right. With that, I'm going to take it away. So let's see. So just real quick, I want to share with you what the agenda is for the night. It's going to, mine typically go quick, but I want it to be really interactive. So we're going to go through list reports, which is free. So hopefully all of you have an account. If not, reach out to Kyle and he will set you up. We're going to walk through the shareables, the local market updates, list packs, and marketing kits that come out of that. And then the other part is the RPR, which again is free. And so how I use it to create property search and the reports that then I'll take to either listing appointments, or if I'm going to show a property, I'll bring one of those usually. And then as far as prospecting, and that comes into play with your geo farming. And then lastly, the market trends with the scripts. So these are free things, free tools, which are always a good thing. All right, so with that, I'm going to share another screen. I'm going to be bopping around a little bit. So if I forget to change a screen, just let me know. And now I got to find the right one. All right, are you guys seeing list reports?
We are.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with the shareables, and hopefully everyone on the call has an account, because this is, again, it's free information. It's very helpful. So the daily shareables, you can come in here every day and you can pick something, any of these, and post on your social media. So curious as to if anyone has been using this.
I have used it.
Have you, Joe? You find it pretty easy?
It's really easy.
Yeah.
I've used it also.
Same here.
Yeah.
Also for open house.
Can I make a comment, Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
So as it relates to your choices, team, the notables, if you will kind of take a look at those, Rents fell 0.1%. July core inflation. Let's just go back to the list if we could. Yes. July, I'm sorry.
It changed already.
Yeah. Are you seeing demand pick up? 10 things you know about housing right now. Before and after homes you'll scarcely believe. Guys, what's critical here? There it is. Rents fell 0.1%. July core inflation flat at 2.6. Pending sales. These kind of things, guys, we have to make conscious decisions as business owners to share those notables versus what Sheila's going to go into, which are the shareable types. And we have to be cognizant of the fact that what comes out of social media and what comes out of national network news is generally, let's just be blunt, negative. So be cautious about what you choose here. The shareable types are very innocuous. When Sheila clicks on a shareable, now shareable types, here you go. Daily, weekly talking points. These are the kinds of things that garner attention. They're kind of pop arty because these are artists that List Reports has hired to generate these things. So there's a difference in the messaging between something that might be negative, dull, and disillusioned versus something that is very shareable, if I could put that in air quotes. So be cautious about this. Thank you, Sheila.
So this is a cute one. Like I turn coffee into contracts. Like that's really relevant for me because all my friends know that I love coffee.
Yes.
So they would probably comment on that because I have a lot of friends that are coffee drinkers as well. So that's just in the shareables. They're very easy, like I said, to just, pop one and you view it. You can change the color around it if you'd like. They have several different ones, and you can also customize it. If you don't like any of these colors, you can pick something that is more to your brand that you can add in here, and this will change. And notice it brings in the Red One logo. It brings in all of my contact information. And my little tagline that I'm using is simplifying your real estate journey. So you can put your own custom tagline in here, and you can see that right up here. Now, you can copy this caption, which I copy it, but I edit it. If I'm being really lazy, I'll just share it from here, but you still have the option to edit this. So one of the things that they're saying is anything more than 5 hashtags is too many. So I always change the hashtags to be relevant for me. I do not hashtag list reports because who cares about that other than list reports? So I change it up, make it a little bit different for me. If I'm putting it on Instagram, I will change it even more because again, I want there to be a difference between Facebook and Insta. And you do not have a chance to share it right here into Insta. So you can put it into your Meta Suite, which is what you should do. Not always what I do, but you should, put it into Meta, and then you can really edit even when it goes out, and you can pick a time when your client base is more active for your viewers.
Sheila, can we drill down on those hashtags for just a hot second?
Yeah.
So guys, when you share this, Sheila's making a very good point, which is these hashtags are important. So let's just use an example, and we'll use a real-time example. Sheila, click on it, see if where any one of those hashtags takes us. If you were to share this, if you click on the helpful agent, where does that hashtag take us?
It does not take us anywhere. We would be found based on the number of people that are searching that follow the helpful agent.
There you go. So you would think that Sheila and I had rehearsed this. We haven't. Guys, when these hashtags are left here, you're left with hoping that by leaving those hashtags there, that someone will click on one of those and find you. They might, but it will be far down the search. We've clicked on these before in other training sessions, and it takes a while for you to get to the agent who has actually shared it. So please take heed of Sheila's advice. Come up with some hashtags for yourself. Dana Kitchen can help you to generate those and make it those hashtags that are on this copied caption. Eliminate those that don't do you any good, especially the list reports one. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm not quite sure why there's a color in here, but there's some color. So,
Maybe,
okay,
maybe because you changed it to brick. Maybe that's the brick color.
maybe, yeah. So the people that follow that brick color, they're going to see this.
Yes.
Okay, so that's shareables. So any other questions on shareables? Okay.
Sheila, could you click on list packs for me?
Yep.
Guys, this is a very powerful tool that can help you stand out. When you're sharing list reports or shareables, this is one of the options that you have. So Sheila's going to click on 10 most expensive houses. Notice that she has a default area, market area already chosen, 43001.
And
And
if you
she can
come,
share the 10 most expensive, and she's got others chosen there. She can share something that's different. It looks different. It gives you breadth. It makes your footprint larger when you're sharing. What were the choices on list packs? 10 most expensive homes, and what others? If you could just go back one. You've got
largest,
largest, biggest lots, single family homes, and these are all relegated to your market of choice, guys. It's really cool, and it changes it up for you, and again, it expands your reach to people.
yeah. And one of the things I was going to say is it's not relegated to just one. See, this says around 43001. I have put in some zip codes that I work a lot in. And so it brings those into there, which helps me kind of be the expert in that area versus just saying Columbus.
I love it.
So then again, so here's, what happens if you copy. And then I want to show you this one, which hopefully, did it change for you guys?
Yep.
Okay, so this is what comes up. Whoops. If you click through one of those reports to see. So I think this was for the most expensive. So you see a $5 million piece of property in Johnstown. You see a 4.2 in Alexandria, 3.3. I mean, these are pretty pricey, right? It's crazy. And so people are always interested in this because, especially in this area, because I live near Intel, which is making things absolutely ridiculous. But where else would you see 1.7 million for a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house that's 2,300 square feet? And if we click into it, you can see it's a normal everyday house. So people love this.
Sheila, could you step us through how simple it is to share a daily shareable with the team here?
Yeah, so let's just use this as an option. Is this an okay one? It's not
Let's,
shareable, but it's
let's click back to shareables. If you just choose shareables on your, yeah, right there. And pick your favorite from the shareables. Okay, there you go.
we'll do the coffee.
All right. Look how easy this is, guys. She's going to take you through in 2 steps.
It did
Or maybe
not save my custom. I would have liked for it to have saved my custom. Oh, there it is, 2024 branding. So there it is. It has all of that. Turning coffee, that's my daily grind. So I'll change that. Copy that. I'm going to share. I'm not going to share that on LinkedIn because that's not the kind of information I share on LinkedIn. People are going to think I'm crazy because I've already done this once today, but that's all right. Not this particular one.
you don't have to do it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to,
Well, you
We
should be able
cannot,
to delete them as well.
We cannot see your screen where you're sharing it.
Okay, that's because it's a pop-up.
Click share on Facebook, the blue button.
That's going to share it out into my universe.
Yeah, but you're not going to do it. So just show
As
us
soon
how
as,
easy it is to do it.
as soon as I hit share, it will send it out onto my site, on my page.
It should just open your Facebook and allow you to.
My Facebook is open.
Okay.
You guys just can't see it. It's grayed out.
Okay.
So
Continue.
as soon as I clicked that, there was a little bit of a spinning and my Facebook opened up. I'm assuming you guys are seeing the create a post and it
No,
has my name.
no, we're seeing list reports. That's what
Okay.
I'm trying to get at.
Okay. So it says that it's sharing the screen, but it's because it's in a pop-up. So I would show you, but I can't. Anyway, just so you know, my Facebook is open. There's a window open that says create a post. I copied and pasted in the turning coffee into contracts, the copy that was there. I would edit it and then I would just hit share. It's that easy, like 2 steps.
Thank you.
And hopefully that did not close my window. No, it did not. Okay. So you guys are now seeing the same thing I see. All right. So that's how easy it would be to share one of those. The list packs are the same thing. They're basically the same thing to share those out. Very easy. Like I said, the page that it takes them to, if they want to learn more, is pretty engaging. All the properties are over there, straightforward. Okay, so then list packs come into play, or I'm sorry, marketing kits. So these are for your listings. Or if you're doing an open house for a Red One agent, you can create these as well. One of the things that I really like is you can go in here. So some of the properties I have listed are in school districts that are not very strong. So if I go in here to the infographics, the one on the schools, oh, see, I just deleted it out because this one's not so bad, but there's a rating. There could be a rating here. And I deleted it because I don't want the rating to show. So it shows where they'll go to school, but it does not show what the rating for this particular home is. But I do, like, people love to see that, how close is the hospital? What kind of theaters are there? Is there a gym? So I usually have these out any open houses I do as well. Okay, let me close this. Okay, so they have them already set up for the just listed the open house, under contract, coming soon, sold. They have the social media shareables. What else did I wanted to show you the open house or the websites. So I don't know if anyone has gone in here, but these are really helpful because you can send people directly here and they don't get caught up in all these other homes that are on the MLS. So about the home, there's a nice little bit image there. The photo gallery shows up. You can go through that. Here's the area. And because I made some changes, it does not show the rating of the schools. Financing info, meet your agent, and so on. So again, like here you can say you have a property specific website built for your listing. That sounds really impressive because a lot of agents are not saying that. But you can say this is property specific. They're not going to get distracted by anything else. So when you're doing your marketing, directing them straight to this, I think is pretty wise. Okay, the other thing I wanted to point out is this text to lead code. So I have a writer on my signs out in front that have this. So if they text that and they're near one of my listings, it will take them directly to that website. If they're out, let's say that they text it when they get home, then it will take them to the list of homes that I have listed. Any questions on this part? And of course, it's co-branded with Kyle. But it's really simple. Like, this is one of the things that, again, it's free. And, you know, I think we should all leverage it as much as we can.
Guys, if you get permission from a listing agent with Red One to market their property, you can go on to List Reports and create a marketing kit for as many listings as you want that somebody else has, and it will look like your listing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really simple.
Okay. So now I'm going to go into RPR, and hopefully you guys have all played around with RPR, but if not, we'll take you through some things. So this is the RPR page. So one of the first things on the agenda is we were going to do a property search. So does someone want to yell out a property address?
920 Hillsdale Drive. 920.
Nope, sorry.
Columbus 43224 if you need that.
We shouldn't. Let's see if it comes up.
It's not a listed property. Was that a requirement?
Sometimes it'll come up even if it's not.
If you guys want to shout out a different one that's listed, you're welcome to. This is the property I used to train from, so I was just giving it.
Is Hillsdale one word or two words?
It's one.
Mm-hmm. That might have been why.
There we go. Road or drive?
That's the one right there.
There we go. The other one was in Pennsylvania. Okay. So here is, let's say that I was getting ready to go see this property, and that's what it closed on however long ago. A long time ago. So it's not relevant now. But let's say that if it were live, it would have the list price here. And let's say that it's listed at
280.
280.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, and here's what the RPR or RVM is. I would look here and kind of get a feeling for the, you know, is that even within the range? And then here, if it's 4 or higher, it's usually pretty close. Close being, you know, 15, 20%. But it's almost always in the range if it's 4 to 5 stars. But if you see one that is a 1 star, which is my house, they have no idea what it's worth. Like, it's completely wrong.
It has nothing to do with the fact that you live there.
No, not at all. Even if I did my neighbor's house.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. So, all right. So then that kind of gives me a gauge when I'm going to show the house. It's like, okay, wow. What do they think is happening with this home versus the agent? More often than not, what I see is it listed close to this number. So then it's like, okay. And I start the conversation with my buyer, you know, it's like, you know, when we start getting really down the path, it's like, okay, well, this is what they're showing. And I don't ever adjust it prior to showing the home because you don't know, pictures lie, as we all know. So I just use this basic report unless I know if I've been in the home before, it's different. So I do check the public facts because sometimes they've added on and it's not on the auditor's site. So I'll, you know, if there's something like that, I might make an adjustment, but usually I don't. Okay. And then assuming that everything's all good, I will create a report. And here are our options. So if you're doing a seller's report, you might want to do this 81 pages. I've run it before. It's overkill. I would knock out a lot of the pages, but typically I'll run a property report and leave them all in there. So I just come down here and say run. And when the report's done, I'm going to hear a little ding doorbell. So then once that's running, I'll go do something else. Huh. Hopefully you guys all heard the doorbell. My dog hears that and thinks someone's home.
Sheila, can I make a comment real quick?
Yeah.
So when I'm running these reports, I do take a little bit of sensitivity to the seller's report or anywhere where it might have, because these reports even give mortgage information, account numbers, that kind of stuff. So I opt to leave that out just to be a little bit sensitive to my sellers. I don't want them to think, well, oh wow, she has my mortgage information. I tend to keep that out. I click on the box and uncheck,
Mm-hmm.
mortgage details because, I don't know. It just depends, but most of the time I take that off. That's just what I do.
Yeah. And the other thing to know is you can download the report as it is, but only print certain pages, which is, I've done that before as well. So then this report, like I said, you hand it off to someone, especially if it's a lead that you don't know real well. And all of a sudden, like you're so smart because here's all this information and it's pretty easy to get to. And then, it lays it all out. And again, it's a different format than what they're going to see from the MLS. Again, it's just some more information. It gives you the nice overhead shot. And then, if you're seniors, I guess you care about the AARP livability, but it talks about the transportation and what there is to do around the area. I haven't ever had a buyer get excited about this, but it's included. Adjustments and comps. So then it starts bringing in the different comps. This one didn't bring anything in because for whatever reason, it just didn't. Sometimes I'll see the comps in there. They love this. Like people think that I spent time on this and do they understand it? I don't know, but they like to see these graphs. So there's that. And to Dana's point, here's the mortgage information. So yeah, that's really not valid.
You notice it's a house that my family's involved in.
Well, we're going to spin right past that.
That's fine.
Okay. This is interesting because it, kind of shows if they've, a lot of mine have changed hands a fair amount of times. So people like to see that because it's kind of like, oh, well, they just bought this or they've held it for a long time. So they kind of understand that, a move might be a little more challenging for them. Then we go into the neighborhood stats. People generally don't look at this, but again, it kind of adds value and makes me more of the expert because it's here. But it does have what's happening in the market, which is great. Same thing with the median sales and volume. So this is just more data. Again, it makes me like the expert. And interesting, I do have one seller that came back and said, yeah, but remember where we were on the dollars per square foot? So they hold on to it. So I make sure I always save a copy because it does get updated, in real time. Okay, so just more information. It's a lot of information, but people like it. So
My clients love those.
do they?
Yep.
So this is one that I might not include based on the school system. Depending upon where it is, I may or may take that out.
I
And
love
then
all this. I'm
I
leaving.
never print this one.
Hey, Mark.
Yes. Bye.
Bye,
See ya.
see ya.
See ya.
Okay, so that is the list reports. Let's see. What else was I going to cover on RPR? I'll pop back over to my agenda. Okay, prospecting. So when it comes to prospecting, I will do, let me go back over home. So go back to your homepage, hit prospecting. And it's not moving. Property search. Okay. So then I'll go into a property search, and let's say that I am going to do prospecting in Pataskala. I could do Pataskala in like a housing development, but let's just start with Pataskala, and it's going to tell me too many. So then I need to start narrowing it down. So single family, any price. So this price is what it sold for the last time. And you kind of have to be careful here, because if they've held on to it for a long time, that could be a problem. So I tend to skip that right now. And let's say that I only want the larger, homes. So I'm going to do 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. Let's see what comes up. I think maybe there's, okay. So now we are over 4,000, which is still an awfully lot. So I go for the public records. Many times I will put in a size to restrict it down to try and get to the better, bigger homes. I always exclude the foreclosures, because that's something that I just prefer not to be, to spend time on. And then I come down here and I do 10 or more years. If they've lived in their home more than 10 years, there's a good chance that they're looking to sell. If they just bought it, they're probably not looking to sell. So I'm going to update and see what we end up with. Okay, so now it's showing 500 of the 1,300, which still seems like a lot. So if you guys were going to skinny this list down, what's something that you would put in to narrow it even more?
Well, I would pull what the buyer is looking for, or is that what you're asking? Like basically like narrow it down to
Well, so this is for prospecting.
for
So if
prospecting.
you
Okay.
wanted to do a CMA drop off to people, or if you wanted to do a postcard, some kind of geo farming. So we could go back into our filters,
Could you
and
just narrow it down to a community?
we could, yes. So let's see if we have, does anyone have a community to throw out?
Annhurst Village.
Amherst?
Annhurst, Annehurst.
Oops. In Franklin County. Okay. Woo, that's a big place. But with these, the criteria that we have on here, it pulled in just 316 properties. So if you wanted to do a CMA, you could, if you were going to mail them, you could get the mailing labels. If you were going to, walk around, you could just get the ones that are like maybe on a street, and you could narrow in a little bit more. So we could just, put a drawing, kind of lasso this group right here. And you could get the names and addresses for this group. And you could, do your letter specific to them, or, if you were dropping something off, make it, say, I don't know, let's see that this is Jack. So you could address it to Jack, put his name on the front real cute or something like that. And again, make it a little more personalized. Or if you're doing a mailing, you can click on mailing labels. I always drop it into a CSV because the way that it kicks these names out, it's not really very usable. So it's going to tell you, it will give you the property address, the owner name. If you want it to set up to say owner name and or current resident or just current resident, I always leave it as owner name because it's more personal. If you wanted to do custom, it could be, hey, future home seller. I probably wouldn't do that, but you could if you wanted to. All right, so then because I'm doing CMA and I'm trying to get the seller, I do owner occupied. If you were trying to get buyers, you would do absentee owner and send it to whoever's living there. I exclude listed properties and properties that are on the do not mail list. If you're doing a drop off though, you can unclick this. And then I exclude properties with incomplete addresses. And then I download it. And you can get 2,000 names a month for free. So it's a great source of names. So that has already downloaded. I'll open that up here in a minute. So close that off and you've got a list that you can, really go after. And let me see if I can pull this list up to where you guys can see what it looks like.
So Sheila, once we've got that list, what would be the next step? We reach out to Vault Title and get a mailer put together and give them the list.
That's what I would do unless you wanted to do a drop off. If you wanted to actually go to their house and knock on their door and leave something. But otherwise, I would definitely reach out to Vault and have them create a postcard or a letter, you name it. Like they can do all kinds of different things for you. So
have you done the drop-offs before?
Yeah, no, because I'm chicken.
Well, I'm feeling chicken just talking about it, but it might have a little bit of a better impact on some people probably.
I'm sure it will. Yeah. So that's one thing that is, I for whatever reason, I just have a little bit of a challenge with going and knocking on people's doors, which is silly. Yeah. One thing that I do want to tell you is I tend to look through here and like this one's in a trust. So that's one where I manipulate a little bit to make sure that the mailing label sounds right. So like the owner name over here is Aaron King. The second one is in a revocable, it says protect, which is basically a trust. So I would not use that. I would just use her name in this case. So, but 300 and some, like I can go through 300 rows and make sure that the name's going to print right. Does it make sense why I would do that?
Yeah, because if you sent it and it was like a weird trust or something, it would show up like that in their mailbox, right?
Exactly. Yes. And a lot of people do that, and because our home is in a trust, and so when I get that, I'm like, take the time to like put our names on it. So anyway, so you just kind of go through here. Here's another trust. It's enough to where you're like, okay, let's just clean this up a little bit. The other thing that I will remove are companies. Sometimes, even though these are supposed to be homeowners, you will see a company name in there. And again, it just seems weird to me. Okay. And then I just make sure that the addresses make sense. And the way that I turn it over is I use the property address like J, K, L, and M plus N. This is where the taxes go. So sometimes they don't match, because if they're in an escrow or if they have a PO box or something, they'll have them go there. Okay, so that's just a little, a little information on this. It's probably overkill. 90% of it's going to be fine, but that's just an extra step that I take when I go through it. Okay. So that is if you want to use RPR for geo-targeting and prospecting. All right. So then the last thing that I wanted to cover is the marketing. So I'm going to go into marketing, prospecting for residential clients. I think the Zoom is making my system really, really slow, because I never have problems with RPR. Okay. Market trends. You said Amherst Village?
Yes.
I evidently don't have it spelled right this time. Was there an E?
Yes, there is.
Okay. All right. So because this is just now the 3rd and there was a holiday, we don't have August data yet, but typically this would be the month before. So you go into residential market trends, and then you put in whatever village or whatever neighborhood you're looking at. I always do single family, but you don't have to. You can keep in the townhomes, apartments, etc. I clicked for all charts. And then you have these nice little charts you can, show for what's happened just this year, 2 years, 3 years, and all. And it goes, back to 2008. So again, there's lots of data here that you can dig in and become the expert and post on social media. But here's one of my favorite parts of it. Create a script. You can decide whether or not you want to sound engaging, professional, conversational. Who is it geared towards? Well, I want it geared towards sellers. I'm not going to do a video script right now. I'm going to do a social media campaign. And there we go. Copy that, put it in, get a nice little visual, put it into your social media. I personally like the analyze the metrics because that fits my personality more. And if I don't talk about the cause and effect or the why, it just doesn't sound too much like me. But the social media campaign and more engaging, it definitely catches people's eye more. So, and you can see it's pretty long. But if you did want to do a video, it just, it tells you that you should do an opening shot standing in front of the area or one of the homes. Here's what I should say when I start talking about it. And then it cuts to, a chart showing the data. I mean, it's just all of the things that you should do in order to make an amazing video.
So Sheila, with that, whatever that finished product would turn out to be, would we take that to Facebook business page and run an ad with that and geographically target it at Amherst Village?
I think that would be a phenomenal idea. Yes.
And then where would we want, when people click on that ad, where would we want them to go? Like just to our KV Core as a lead, or would it bring them back to RPR?
Well, so you could do a couple different things with that. So one, if you are trying to just be known as the expert, you can spend less money and send it per day and make it awareness, and more people are going to see you. So you could get, let's say, because I did this just recently, I got like 23,000 impressions just by doing an ad. And I think my max was $5 a day. And I ran it for maybe 3 weeks. But that's a lot of people seeing me. And I believe that was impressions. There's a difference between impressions and views. I'm pretty sure that was impressions being the specific number of people and not how many people or not how many times they saw it. So that's a great way if you are trying to become known. If you want them to actually, like, if you really want to get their name, it might be, you won't get as many, of course, but you can direct them to KV Core where you have them going into a squeeze campaign. And what you could do is have a page set up that has homes that are for sale on in Amherst Village or surrounding areas. So there's a couple different ways that you could go about it. The other way would be a Facebook form. So you could say, you know, you want to know more about the homes that are available, or do you want a CMA? Do you want to know what your home's worth? You could go about it a couple different ways. You would think about your strategy up front, build your campaign, and then get the results. So, but like I said, the scripts are pretty cool because it tells you exactly what you should be showing at that particular point, you know, in the script.
I like these easy options.
They're
Could
very
that could
easy.
that could that coincide with a seller like evaluation form that like so on KV Core under the I forget what it's called. You can do a squeeze page for seller evaluation or a seller squeeze page.
Mm-hmm.
Would could we use that material to direct them back to that potentially?
Yeah. So, because let's see. So it says, let's dive into the numbers, and it talks about the low supply of inventory. And it says, this means there's not enough homes on the market to meet the high demand of buyers. And that's when, you know, you kind of go into the inventory. And then you say, looking back over the last 12 months, you can see that the months of supply of inventory has been consistently low, making it a great time to sell your home in Amherst Village. And then
Okay.
it takes you to a list of sold. And here, you know, it's an impressive 103% over list, meaning that homes in your area are selling more above asking price. So yeah, so that kind of gets people thinking, wow, you know, maybe I should like see what my home's worth.
I guess what I'm poking around at is does RPR handle both ends of it, like attracting them with the video and then collecting their information as a lead as well, or would you need a program like KV Core to do the lead capture, or a Facebook form to do the lead capture for you, or does RPR do that?
No, RPR is just providing data.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So
RPR is the front end, and then you would want either an ad campaign or a campaign to capture the
mhm.
the information.
Yeah, to actually get the user out of it. Of course, you can just post it on your Facebook page or your social media. Like this is one of the things, not the video because I don't like video on my LinkedIn page, but I do post the facts and some of the charts on LinkedIn, again, because it kind of makes me the expert. Um, and I'm not asking for anything back. I'm just building that awareness. Any questions? I know it's a lot, and I have a tendency to talk really fast. So all of these are recorded. And of course, you know, you can always reach out to me if you've got any questions. Anyone want to do a last minute town or development? We've got a few minutes.
Hey, Sheila, would you be able to go back to the reports and show how you adjust comps if needed?
Mm-hmm. So in the property search,
Yes.
does anyone have a listing that they're interested in? Maybe someone's got a showing that they have coming up.
Yeah, let me give you a property. Let me give you something. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry, I wasn't quite ready. 4798 River Rock. It's all one word. It's not listed yet, but it's coming up.
Okay, this look familiar?
Yep, that's
Okay.
it.
All right, so all the stats look right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so now I'm going to create a CMA. Confirm the facts. If you needed to change something, here's where you can do that. Find comps. I never like the comps they pull in. So this takes more work to use their tool for sure to bring in any comps. Have you tried it, Dana?
Yes, actually, I don't hate it because it pulls in comps and I get to pick the ones I want.
Yeah. So let's search, see what they bring in. All right. So any of these that you want to bring in?
I really want the 4 bedrooms to go in. That's really important.
Okay, 4, 4, 4, 4.
And I only usually just pull a couple in. I don't pull a
Okay.
ton.
So that looks like that's probably 3 or 4. Okay, so 4 comps. So here's where you could make some adjustments. If you knew if there were any concessions going on, you could put those in there. So you can adjust it here. Like, let's say that you had looked at the pictures and you knew that this one was more like it than others. What you can do, well, first of all, you can change the order that they're shown, which I think is always interesting. So let's say that. And as you did that because it's more like the one that you're getting ready to list. You can do, let's say that this one's brick. And you want to add $20,000 because it's brick. And you want to weight this one, edit it. Let's say that you want this one to be 35 and it's telling you got to fix it. And look, it just like adjusted everything equally, which I think is pretty cool because sometimes you can get in that rabbit hole. So there you go. It says, you know, the adjustment that was in here. And let's say that this one does not have a full basement. So in this case, we're going to do a negative 15,000. There you go. Next. Okay, so update the evaluation. Create the report. And again, you could do your evaluation report of 74 pages, or you could just do the quick little property report. And you can take all of these things on and off. You can customize, which is what Dana was saying. Where's mortgage? Right here, mortgage records. Take that off, and that way you don't have to worry about not printing them. Maybe you don't want the sales and financing activity as well. And then you just run the report and wait for the doorbell. Anything else?
This was a really, really great tool. I actually have it downloaded on my phone, and I was able to, what's really useful about it was access to areas outside of Central Ohio. If you have a friend or a family member trying to get some information on their home, I was able to jump on the app, create a report, do a CMA to let them know about what their home is worth, and it helped them out.
That's a
They
really
were
good
separating,
point.
but
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point because you're right. If we have access to even other states, because I did that for a sister once. So yeah, and then I haven't done it on my phone yet. So how easy was the app?
it was pretty easy.
Great.
Yeah, I didn't have too many issues with it.
That's good. I have it on my phone, but I haven't had to use it yet. So
I have RPR on my phone. It's really nice. Like when a friend's like, I don't know, what do you think my house is worth? You can just pull it up real quick and you show it to them. They're like, whoa,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
really nice.
you
I
know
like
what?
to second that. I like to second kind of what Matt said about other states because often, I have clients I'm working with that are looking out of state, so it's like a referral situation. But before I reach out to that agent, I kind of go on RPR and kind of do some, work first and kind of let my clients know. And then if they want to go further to where we can access like, get the RPR or whatever else I need.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a lot of valuable information. So it's sort of like an MLS in a way, because it does provide a lot of information. So that's is a great tool that I use as well.
Yeah. And it comes from, the National Association of Realtors. So, it's good data. You don't have to worry about scrubbing it too much, other than the way that the addresses come out. All right. Well, I think we're pretty good. We'll just end the session here. Thanks everyone for showing up. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Sheila.
Sheila.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Sheila.
Bye.